Welcome to Harpy Stitch. This is my Flosstube all about cross stitch. I'm Amy. If you are returning to join me, welcome back. If you are a new subscriber, thank you so much. And if you're new to my channel, I hope you enjoy what you see. If you do, please give me a like, a comment, or a subscribe. Would love some comments, questions if you have any. I'm excited. I only have a few projects to show you, but I actually have a finish. One of my monthlies for fandom this month was to do 700 stitches on a project you wanted to throw in a black hole. They mean finish it. And sometimes I've gotten frustrated with this project, and I definitely kind of wanted to throw it in a black hole for other reasons, but I finished it. It is Dancing in the Moonlight by Praiseworthy Stitches. Now, this was my first time ever doing variegated thread for a whole project. So that's one of the reasons it frustrated the hell out of me, is because I didn't know what I was doing. And there are things that I've thought about that I would definitely do different next time. But I did this on 36 count Mystic by Picture This Plus. And I love, here, let's do this. Here's the whole thing. And then we'll zoom in. Let's see, I gotta kind of, because I cannot see what I'm doing. And I realize that it's kind of thin in places. But, all right. So let's zoom in a little bit and talk about different pieces. So I think that the purple for the letters looks amazing. Oh, I gotta adjust my light some more. Looks amazing on the Mystic. I think it pops really well. If you look here, this is metallic thread. I've decided I don't like metallic thread. This looks really nice from far away, but I actually think if I did something like this in the future, I might use some sort of blending filament, which is a pain in the butt its own way. But I think it would have been a more subtle look. The beads for the eyes, the back stitch on the little kitty cat, and this. So this is mostly Weeks Dye Works and Gentle Arts threads for this. It was a combination. I did substitute out, was it 10 bucket for with Seagull, because my LNS, when I was kitting this up, didn't have 10 bucket. They were out, so they gave me that one. I got most of the called for beads for this. I didn't buy it as a bead pack. I had to get what the LNS had. So one of the things that I've replaced was the pumpkin bead. This is a different pumpkin, probably for a different project. Ooh, let's see. But I think he still looks really cute. You might see stray cat hairs because my kitty cat. And then I didn't know. I thought when I was looking at the cover picture, I thought it was just a regular button. So I didn't buy a spider button because I didn't know I was supposed to. Because unfortunately the pattern didn't list, it just listed that there was a bead pack. It didn't tell you the individual buttons, which I really wish it had, because so especially since this pattern is from 2013, not everybody still has the bead packs. So I just found a random button in my collection that I have of just old buttons that came with clothes or whatever, and I put a turquoise one on here. I'm trying to decide. I think you might need some longer legs now, because that button is a little bit big, but I did already extend his legs. I had to kind of, the number of lines are right for the spider web, but I kind of had to fudge the positioning. It was really hard to count out in the space. And let's see. Oh, yes. I think it looks all right. Oops. But I really wish I had thought to go up and down, but I'm so used to going left to right when I'm stitching that I didn't think. I think it would look more like bark. For most of it, I did do the 1X at a time, which kind of annoys me because I feel like I go really slow when I do that way, although it does reduce some of the weird stretches if you're going up and to the left, and it pulls your stretches funny. I did kind of skip that on the ghosts and the skeletons on their bodies, because the chalk and the grits, they were variegated. They were both white colors or oatmeal colors, but you couldn't really see the variegation. So I'm just like, you know what, I'll get through this faster if I just go across, because it really didn't make. I did try the X at a time on like the first ghost that I did and the first couple of skeletons, and like it makes no difference. You cannot tell it's variegated thread at all. So yeah, I skipped that on the rest of the stuff that was white because it didn't matter. All right, but I think it turned out beautiful. Now I just have to figure out a frame for it. There's a frame color that we had in clearance at Michael's that I saw today, but it's only 8 by 10, and I don't think this will fit. I may get this one professionally framed because of the beads and the buttons, but I did take a class on how to stretch mount my own projects, so I might just find a frame that I like and do it myself. It'll depend, but I can't wash this because it's hand dyed, so luckily I will probably take a lint roller over it before I frame it to get the cat hair that is attached itself. So, but it's a finish, my third finish of the year, so yay! And I've been working on this since May of 2023, so I am just thrilled it's done. I think it looks good. I really am pleased with it, except for a few changes that I might make if I do a variegated project again. But it's done! So, yay! Alright, quite a few of my prompts for the week I was able to fulfill with my frogworts. So I worked on different parts of frogworts. Let's see if I can... I don't want to take it out of the hoop because I'm planning on working on it again soon. So I made quite a bit of progress on year 1. It is really hard to do this without my big camera setup. We had one, but that's okay. So I got some more jelly beans in. I got most of the sorting hat. I got my fame here. I didn't quite follow the directions. I am using mostly DMC on this, except for in the diamonds. Then I'm using the variegated floss because it was way too expensive to... This was still a pricey project, and that wasn't getting the $170 worth of variegated threads. So I did take a toile or blending filament for the lightning, because lightning should be sparkly. And then for the lenses of Harry's glasses, I used, instead of the called for color, I used the white etoile because glass is shiny. Then I also worked on year 4 a little bit. And with year 4, I got in the beginning of the carriage that the French school comes in. I can't say the name, so I'm not gonna. But yes, I got that in. And then I've been working on year 5, and one of the prompts was something you would use to save yourself in a situation of finding the devil in a prison by a black hole. And I said we would use our brains because that's what the doctor usually does. So I was able to finish up the brain from the Ministry of Magic, and then the last little few stitches in the shiny part of the door. And I got some of Guap's skin, or some of this pillar in. And I realized not that long ago when I was looking at this, that this side I had stitched 3 shiny things for the door, and it was supposed to be part of the pillar that sticks out over here to match. So I snipped those, pulled them through, and then they had other things cross over them, so they're not coming out. So I went ahead and fixed that. And so I am so close to being done with year 5. I'm definitely hoping to get it done before Frogworts starts again. I think I will. I've got lots of prompts that I can, there's so many little motifs on here, they fit a lot of prompts. So lots of progress on Frogworts this week in various years. All right, I also got to work on my It Sal. This is by Robin Allen. This is my second Sal by them. They did an Overlook Sal as well, which is based on The Shining. There is talk that there's another one coming, and I can't remember which one it is. I think a Dark Tower Sal would be great because there's like 7 books. You could do all sorts of stuff with it. But I was able to fill this in. I think that's a moon. And then get the legs of one of the things here. So, it's exciting to me. Not that exciting to look at because you can't see enough of it yet. But a little progress on that. I had another prompt that I got quite a bit finished on Sapita by Maroomy Designs. It is so beautiful. Now, this is on Yellowstone by Bling. I cannot, wait, does it have it does have the thing on it. It's on 32 count. If you can hear that, that's the cat's automatic feeder because we get sick of him bugging us for an hour before it's time for him to eat. So we broke down and got an automatic feeder. So this is on 32 count Yellowstone by Bling Designs. I am doing this 1/1 with DMC 4240, which is like Midsummer Sky or Midnight Sky. And I am actually doing the negative space. I'm stitching the negative space instead of the part that is supposed to be charted. So like this pomegranate here, ideally you would stitch it and leave the background blank. It's done in the Treese style, if I remember correctly. But I thought since I had this beautiful yellow fabric, it would be really cool to flip it and have like the rays of the sun in the yellow. So I think it's looking quite lovely. And I am not doing this 1x at a time, even though I'm using variegated thread. I wanted a more subtle variegation. I know it's stripy still, but that was on purpose because if you think about when the sun's going up or setting, the colors in the sky kind of go horizontally. And it's kind of, in different spots. So I wanted to mimic that look. So I did that, and I'm doing just going across and going back. And I know with the stitches being this tiny, you can't really see the X underneath, but even with that, you get little tiny bits of it peeking out, and I think it adds a little bit of that shading, that kind of, effect to it, so that you don't get the straight up streaky color. But I think she's looking beautiful. And I am so looking forward to getting her done. I am going to include her on a wall of women. I totally stole that from Nancy the Bohemian Stitcher on YouTube, on Flosstube and Instagram. So my next thing that I got a little bit of progress for you, we went, Monday was a holiday, we went to visit the sister-in-law, and I took a couple of projects that were like 14 count because her house is definitely not set up with the lighting for cross stitching on teeny tiny stitches. So I took a couple of 14 count projects to work on while I was there. This is the free Halloween Storybook 21 Sal from Stitchonomy, and I finished my Sons of the Lambs. Got the background in, the rest of the wings. This is the mask. I've got some white in there that's a little hard to see. And then I got that one started too, but I didn't have all the colors for that, so I jumped around and worked on the border a little bit too. So this one is a super fast stitch, but I have so many projects that are like, this is cute, but I have prettier projects, and I tend to want to work on the more prettier complex ones than the simple fun ones like this. So I'm trying to get myself, because I've been working on this for a long time now, but it is super cute. And some of them I'm not sure, like I'm not sure if this is the last house on the left or the house on Haunted Hill. because they both have really big houses. So I've got to figure out what those are so I know. Now, I had finished my Whip Go for one of my Whip Go calls, and that was my Wisdom Stocking, which I showed you last week. My other Whip Go call this month was the Cliffhanger by Heaven and Earth Designs, art by Amy Stewart. And I worked on it yesterday. I got over 400 stitches in, and when I'm done with this, I will be working on that as well. So, I actually realized yesterday when I started working on this that the reason I had been delaying doing it is because I was out of a thread that is one of the big colors that I need for this section, 938, and I had forgotten the last couple of times I looked at Michael's, we were out. So luckily we had 2 skeins today, just 2. But like this hole here is supposed to be 938, and there's a bunch of these little things. So I did over 400 stitches yesterday. I did a few before I went to work this morning. So this will be my focus this afternoon to get my second day in. I'm at over 2,000 stitches, and I think when I left for work this morning, I have finished 0.46%. So it is going to take me a long time. And, but I think it will turn out beautifully. The artwork is gorgeous. So that's all the stitching that I did, except for, well, no, I didn't work on Rare Horror Flies this week. I am going to try to work on that. So, life updates. Busy with work as usual. I have one more week left in this trimester at work. And then we get our midwinter break or spring break for the first week of March. So I'm excited for that one more week of working, and then I get a week off, and I actually have that Saturday off for my part-time job, so I actually will get 6 days off in a row. We're already planning to go visit the kid on Wednesday because that's their day off. I know we have a doctor's appointment for Dawn on Tuesday that will hopefully help. The treatments are not comfortable, but we think they might be helping. But he also goes through phases where his pain shoots up and his pain shoots down and his pain shoots up. So we don't know if it's the shots or if he's just in a place where it's not as intense. So we shall see. I will be applying for some loan forgiveness for my student loans over the break. Super exciting, I know. I'm hoping that my final W-2 shows up over spring break. I think I'm going to call my former employer again because it still hasn't gotten here, and they're supposed to mail it out by January 31st. Because I can't do my taxes until that gets here. I am going to finish setting up my Librarians with Who Craft Discord server. I have a group on Facebook for librarians, fun crafts and stuff, but I'm trying to minimize my Facebook usage. I am going to try to get off of it altogether, but a lot of my community's there. Speaking of community, 2 Flosstubers. Oh, let's see. Let me pull up their names real quick. I love the internet and having multiple screens. Have started a website called Stitchmunity for cross-stitchers to have their own social site. They have a really good setup. It is D.H. Morris, the Cozy D.H., and I'm trying to figure out, because there's 2 people who started it, and then Heather St. Amand Stitchwit. I believe they are both Flosstubers. I know one of them is. I don't know their channel name. I haven't managed to get around to watching them yet. There's not a ton of people on it yet, but it's got a really good way to track your projects. You can ask questions, get community support. They have a place for people to share virtual and in-person events, so if you've got that going on, and just another place to show, especially if you're trying to move more away from some of the social medias that are profiting off of oppression, shall we say. It's hard to know what the right thing to do is in these crazy, crazy times. I don't have an egg to offer you in these trying times, but I have whips and finished objects to offer. So that's how I'm getting through, is working on pretty things. So plans for the week. I am going to finish up my Whip Go call today on cliffhanger, because my Whip Go on those, whenever they're called, is 2 days on them. And then I will, Friday, sorry, the cat almost knocked something down. Friday is the end of the month, so this week I'm also going to be focusing on doing some stitching on rare horror flies so that I can finish a monthly goal for fandom. I haven't gotten around to magical stitches at all much, except for the reading challenges, because I listen to the audiobooks, and Series of Unfortunate Events, the audiobooks are like 3 hours long. They're not long at all. In fact, I need to put that in that I read this month's book, but I think I might just not participate in magical stitches. The fandom's working really well for me this year, and by the time I do the weeklies, I don't have much time to do the monthlies that are like 2,000 stitches and stuff. And I don't want to double dip, because the idea for me is to get more stitches through the challenges, so I don't want to use the same stitches for the challenges in both groups, because that defeats the purpose. I do like magical stitches, and I will probably keep reading the books, but I think I'm going to take a break and just focus on one challenge group this year. My goal was to do both, but with working 2 jobs 7 days a week, it's not feasible with my time. So let's see, what else? Over the break, I'm also planning on trying my hand at a vinyl front project bag. I made a couple of them, but with the guidance of my friend who sews a lot, and we're not hanging out anymore, so I'm going to try it on my own. I got some fabric, and I need to get some coordinating fabric and some vinyl and zippers. I will try to get as much, and some interfacing. I'll try to get as much of that as I can at Michael's for the discount. I'm going to just try 1 or 2 bags, crossing my fingers. This week I'm also going to prep my starts for March. They're already kind of pre-prepped, but I have one big project I'm going to be starting in March. Another Haid, because, why not? But I have to do frogging on the piece of fabric that I'm going to use, because I had an old project on it, and I have to bobbinate. So I'll be working on that. I'm going to be finding out later today what the weekly challenges for fandom are. On the 25th will be next month's Whip Go calls, and I'm hoping this month that I get a fully finished, because one of my some of my Whip Go boxes are to fully finish an object, and I have a frame for my dead outlaw female, and I got a frame for my subversive cross stitch piece that I did during Frogwarts, which I can't say the name of, and I'm not going to edit it when I show it, so you'll have to turn your face away if you don't like bad words. But that's really all I got. Oh, wait, no, I did want to share one more thing. That's all my stitchy stuff, major life updates, my plans. Don't really have any haul except for 2 skeins of 938 and some bobbins to bobbinate for my Heaven and Earth design project that I'm starting next month. I may start it next Saturday, or I may wait, depending on what I decide to do. I am going to rearrange my... Oh, not all the stitchy plans. I am so spaced out today. My new glasses, one of my lenses cracked. My right lens just started cracking up at the top and the bottom, and we're working their way together to meet. So I'm wearing my old glasses again, which is annoying. But they said they should have new lenses for me by within a week. So another thing is I did a few starts in February that I haven't done my second day on either. So I want to finish a couple of those up. I'm really hoping that some of the prompts for this week will allow me to work on those and meet a challenge. I mean, I can work on them if they don't, but let's see. So that is my other plan. I freed up a project bag when I finished up Dancing in the Moonlight, so I have some more space. And then reading, watching. I've been watching my husband play No Man's Sky. And playing games on my phone, just the silly ones. But I'm not very good at video games on the console, and I think, oh, I really want to play, and I start to play, even if it's a game I like, and in a little bit I'm like, no, I'd rather stitch. So the feeling goes away really quick, so I'd rather watch my husband play. So reading, I just finished Wide Window by Lemony Snicket, third book in the series of Unfortunate Events. Next up is Miserable Mill, which I will wait for March to start. I am reading currently The Monster Inside, which is a Doctor Who book. I'm enjoying it. It's interesting because the actress that plays Jackie Tyler, Rose Tyler's mom in the series, is reading this one. So it's basically Rose's mom reading a story about Rose. So that's kind of fun. And we watched a really good movie last night. It was a drama. It is The Last Showgirls, and it starred Pamela Anderson, and Jamie Lee Curtis is in it. It was super emotional. Excuse me, Flosstube, itchy nose. It is a Ford Coppola, or not a Ford Coppola movie, but the director is a Coppola. I think she's Francis Ford Coppola's granddaughter, if I remember correctly. Very well told. Apparently they filmed it in 18 days. And it is another movie about aging and beauty expectations and people who, choose career over family and stuff like that. And it was really good. Like, I was in tears. It was so good. That's really all I've got for you. Please share with me what you're working on. Ask any questions you might have about my projects. I am always open. My email is here, so feel free to send me a question. If you have any, or just want to say hi, I'm here to find my stitchy community, and I am always excited to hear from people. Let's see. Oh yes, I am trying to figure out a sign on and sign off, and my memory is full of holes these days between stress and working so much and menopause brain. So I frequently forget where I'm at unless I have notes, and I haven't been writing notes for these shorter ones. So we shall see. I really should probably start writing notes. But then it gets dry, I think, because I get too focused on making sure I hit everything. And I don't always share, like, interesting stories about the projects or whatever. But I'm neurodivergent. What do you want? Anyway, I hope you had a great week stitching. I hope next week is great. May today have treated you better than yesterday, and may tomorrow treat you better than today. Have a great week. Take care. Bye.